Hello everyone. Well, isn't today a nice day in Chengdu? This is the kind of sky you want to see at 11:30 in the morning. Well, anyway, this is going to be an announcement video basically. A friend of mine is starting up a podcast and I'm just lucky enough to be tagging along with it. My friend Ian, who lives and works and teaches in Chengdu, he is starting up a podcast called TIC China, or This is China podcast. And you all know that I have a series on YouTube called This is China. And it's very much in that same vein where both of us talk about things that people need to know about China, in particular practical, useful things that people need to know if they're going to be moving to China. So in the beginning, we're going to be going through what we call the ABCs of China, where we talk about subjects that you need to know about practically. Like, for example, A and B, we talked about apartments and banking. So for like apartments, we talked about kind of the stories and experiences we have of renting apartments, like how much we pay and what we get in our apartments, how big they are, what you need to do in order to rent an apartment, what documents you need, and things like that. So we go through kind of the ins and outs of that. In banking, we go through like how to open a bank account in China, the big banks, kind of pros and cons of a couple of the big banks, just our experiences and things that we think people need to know if they're going to be coming to China. So that's really what the podcast is going to be all about. Like the next episode is probably going to be about culture shock. And then that's going to be letter C, and then letter D is going to probably be like don'ts. China don'ts, things you shouldn't do in China. And I think that's it's going to be a great resource for people who are going to be moving to China. So I hope that you all check that out, and I will leave a link to the podcast in the description below. And I'll continue telling you all a little bit about it as this moves forward. Here's a little bit of a teaser. I've got some video of us filming the podcast, so enjoy. Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of TIC Podcast, first real episode. Alright, so what does TIC mean?
TIC is This is China.
Alright, This is China. I'm Austin.
And I'm Ian.
And we're going to be taking you through the A to Z of China. And what are we doing in this episode?
We're doing apartments and hopefully, if we've got enough time, banking. Obviously, if you're coming to China as a teacher or a worker, you usually get given an apartment.
Yeah, it's an overwhelming majority, I think. You know, especially if you're working in education.
In the kitchen, we had a gas canister with a cooking stove and a fridge. Wow,
you had a physical like propane canister.
Yeah, you had to get
in the kitchen.
Yeah, it had to come up every.
Man, that sounds dangerous. There is the Bank of China, which is the biggest bank. There is China Construction Bank, which is I think the second big, or
I think ICBC is the biggest one.
Okay.
No.
Well, I don't know.
In Chengdu.
Okay. Do we want to start that again, or are we just going to go with it?
They're all owned by the governments anyway.
Your employer is more likely than not going to pay you through direct deposit.
Yeah,
they have their own bank that they have a deal with.
When I first came to China, someone from the school took me to the bank.
Yeah, me too.
But
not anymore.
In our university, they actually have a branch on the campus just for the students and the teachers.
Yes.
So I did that myself. She took me to this room and she opened this box and it was just full of foreign credit cards and bank cards.
Oh, okay.
I don't know my account number.
Me neither. I have no idea. What's like 20 digits or something? It's a long number.
Also, your PIN number will be 6 numbers.
That's right, yeah.
In the UK it's 4.
Yeah, USA it's 4.
Yeah, so it will also be 6 numbers here.
Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that we need to mention that not a lot of people consider is China is a cash economy.
Yeah.
You don't use credit cards very much in just daily life.
Only in the big, maybe the fancy restaurants or the supermarket. Big supermarket.
Yeah.
I've actually had fake money from the ATM.
Oh really? Yeah.
And what you're supposed to do is, as soon as you get it, but I didn't notice until I gone somewhere to try and pay something.
I mean, who has time to go through all the money?
Some people do check it though, and what you're supposed to do is
my fiance sitting here, she checks it.
There will be a camera on the ATM, and you're supposed to hold the banknotes up to the camera to prove that that's from that machine. But it has happened to me a couple of times. How do you check for your fake banknote?
Can I plug my YouTube channel?
Most of the fake money comes from taxi drivers. I think. Well, most of mine does. Especially at night time, they'll just put 50, and you're in such a rush. You get out and then you get home. It's like boom.
Okay, well that about wraps it up for the podcast, at least the teaser, and you can all check that out in the description below. And thanks for watching. See you all next time.